I am in a multi-age classroom, but I decided to pick a second grade boy. And he has a lot of strengths. He is so smart, and he is a really good math and science thinker. He loves math and science. He does math problems in very abstract ways. I actually have to ask him to explain how he solved problems most of the time, but they're always right. He knows his facts so well. He knows his some multiplication facts. He's very accelerated. And he's very eager to do it. He likes moving faster than all the kids, and he likes being smarter, which is sometimes good. He's a good science thinker as well, and during my science lessons on insects, he knew more than I did about some of the topics. For example, he knew a damselfly can eat mosquitoes, and I had to look that up, and it's correct. He's very smart and loves science. He's also really good at reading and writing, and he is a very fast reader and fluent reader, and really likes to read. And he also is really good at writing as well, and he can write a full story in half the time or a quarter of the time that all my other students can. And it's sometimes even better quality than a lot of my kids can, especially with a mixed age. But there were a lot of behaviors that initially drew a red flag for me and my mentor. So we originally picked him because he's very social, and he likes to talk to his friends a lot. But which is good and bad because he is really social and really kind to other kids, but a lot of the time it's in inappropriate times. So no matter what is going on in the classroom, he wants to be talking to friends. Frequently he shouts out while on the carpet. He'll comment on what my teacher is saying during instruction. About every other time she says something, he'll make a comment. He also moves around on the carpet a lot. He makes a lot of obscure movements, like grabbing motions, kind of like climbing a rock wall is one of the observations I made. Other times he just rolls around or kind of is moving. He's a very active boy, which can be disruptive to the teacher and the kids. He also likes to sit with his friends on the carpet, and which can be problematic because then he talks the whole time. And he gets his work done really quickly. So in this case, it was a bad thing because when he's done his work, he's like, okay, I'm done. I can talk to my friends now, instead of what else can I do, grabbing a book, etc. So the management system that we had in place originally was the stoplight program, and it wasn't really working for him. He never got all the way to red, which was good, but it always took at least 6 warnings, because each time we move the stick we have 3 warnings, to get him to stop. So then we decided, me and my mentor talked about it, and we decided to do a sticker chart for him and a few kids, because it's not uncommon to have kids like, he's not the only one. So we focused on him especially because we wanted him to improve his behavior, and he's one of the, So we decided to reinforce his good behavior through the sticker chart because we hadn't really had anything like that. So he earns a prize every 10 stickers, and by not calling out, showing on-task behavior, etc. And this worked for a few days until he got his first prize, and then he was like, okay, I'm done with that. So I noticed this almost immediately after he got his prize, so I decided to try proximity control. And this works really well because he responds to me being near him and sitting near him on the carpet, and sometimes even I have to tap his back or to point to a problem on his paper to keep him focused, but usually this works. However, it's not always the most effective way to keep him on task, just because I have a lot of other kids that I need to be worrying about. So I did a self-assessment with him because I wanted to see what he thought about his behavior and what was going on. So things like, do I sit still on the carpet? What do I excel at? Not in those words, but and he really liked talking about it, But a lot of his answers included his friends. And he thought, well, if my friends are around me, I don't focus, I don't sit still, I don't do my work. So he saw it as a very external control. Like it was very, if they're around me, then I don't do my work, but if they're not, I'm okay. So I found that when he's alone, he's much better at doing his work, which I would agree with him as well. For his carpet behavior, we worked on, with the moving, since it was distracting to other kids, we helped him pick, through his self-assessment, a place on the carpet. So he sits in the back corner of the carpet, and we have learned to sort of ignore if he's moving around, because he's not making noise, it's just he's moving around. And so we ignore those behaviors, and the other kids don't get distracted anymore. So after the self-assessment, I found that he still wasn't, he improved for a few days, but he still wasn't really realizing his behaviors, and I still needed to intervene. So I created a My Challenge packet, and this was something individual to him, and he was the only one that got it, so he felt really special about it. And because he works so quickly through his work, I decided to help him through this. So I developed it, and it's like this packet of worksheets and puzzles and stuff, and he takes it out anytime he's done his work. So instead of talking to friends once he's done his work, he takes this out. And I found I wanted to focus on his on-task behavior at his desk more so than the carpet behavior, because it was more distracting to the kids while they're doing their work. So that's why I did that. But recently he has been doing, when he gets it out, he does really well. And he's able to stay on task with the challenge packet, and it's working really well. However, he's not independent with it taking out yet. So we still have to remind him to take it out and work on it once he's done his work. So based on working with him, I found that he's like really smart, and is able to do his work really fast, and he loves to be challenged. He loves learning new things. The challenge packet has really worked really well. Still working with him on getting it independent and getting it out automatically, but he loves it because he gets to go above and beyond what other students are doing, and he stays on task, and he's like really interested in what he's doing. So yeah, originally I thought it would like a originally I thought it would just be he's a disruptive kid. However, I've seen that he just wants to be challenged. So any questions? Yeah.
Have you noticed like other kids wanting to do this packet since?
Yeah, when he first got it, a lot of his friends were like, "Ooh, what's that?" But I think a lot of my other kids don't work as fast as him, so they don't really notice him doing it. So.
Did he have a hard adjustment moving? You had a guest teacher for like the first month and a half or so, and then Jackie came back.
Yeah.
Did he have a difficult adjustment time there?
They all did.
Okay.
I don't think it wasn't any more than any of the other kids.
Right.
It didn't stand out, but yeah, it was. I think it was more difficult because Sarah was more strict and Jackie's more laid back. So it's been that kind of adjustment period, but it's not anything significant, no.
Okay.
When he's done, or will he be sharing this challenge packet with you? Like, is there a reward that goes with it, not just doing it? What will happen to it? Like,
well, I haven't thought of that, but that's a good idea. I have been checking his work and going over with him, because at first he was just going, oh, and like filling it out and not getting it correct. I'm like, okay, well, wait, we need to look at the directions. Look, you did this wrong, and so he went back. But he hasn't finished it yet, so that's an interesting.
Have you talked to him at all about the idea of, like at Easterly, we have a big thing about being a learner, and that also means helping like your classmates be learners too. And does he understand that it maybe is a negative effect on him because he's being distracted, but does he understand the responsibility that he's taking away other people's chances to learn? Like, is there any empathy there or any sort of conversation that way?
I think he has a little bit, but just starting to realize it, I think. Through my self-assessment, he
Yeah.
really realized that he's been disruptive
Okay.
to other kids. So
Yeah.
that was really
and,
helpful.
And I don't mean like a nigga, like you're bad, but more like
No,
the
no,
idea,
no,
like,
yeah.
So what do you think happens when Joey, like you talk to Joey and he's not finished his work, and then he's gotta stay in
Exactly.
for recess and or whatever happens. But sometimes when they start realizing like, oh, my actions are interfering with other people. Then
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of what the discussion was about,
Cool.
especially since he brought in his friends. It was interesting that he brought that in. So.
And he's certainly old enough at that developmentally to understand. He's bright enough. He's old enough. So that's a good piece part.
Yeah.
Good. Interesting.